They say how this nigga come from dirt to bad hoes and bankrolls. Over 100 shots on the E-way, I gotta make it home. I learned from my struggle, stack that dough, forget your hustle on. Go ride for your brother when he call you.
Welcome everybody to Choppin It Up with Dizz Los. I'm Dizz, that's Los.
What up, what up, what up? Professionals.
You know, Los, we're gonna talk about being professional gardener later on in the show, but how's everything going?
I'm a man of all traits.
I know, and you know what? I did see some videos of little man working. I might have to call the labor board on that.
Ooh, you know what?
But how was your weekend?
It was good. It was good, man. I was able to. I had off on Sunday. Spent some time, with the kids, working and playing in the backyard. Got my son involved. With some gardening, helping out. He wants to help, so he's being big boy. Helping his dad out. So I'll teach him the way.
That's good. That's good. Before we get into the show, our show is growing a little bit. It's growing a little faster than we thought. But there's some things that when I was looking at the analytics, people that are watching are not subscribed. So please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a bunch of things in the next couple of months. I know we might be doing some vlogs outside, going out to things. Los, I know you're probably taking it to vacation, going out to a little water park or something. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be out in AC next week to Island Water Park. I'll have some content for the website so you guys can check out the water park. I'll have some reviews on that.
All right. Los, where do you want to start? Do you want to start what happened today and then work our way back?
Yeah, let's talk about Mark Malone. Got fired today. That was crazy. Huge, man. And like 3 games, I think, was it 3 games left in the season?
Yeah, and they're 4th in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I put a little blame on the Joker a little bit. He's the 2-time MVP, could have been a 3rd time. If there's some rumblings going on in the locker room, he needs to get that team under control. He's the leader. Get it under control and make sure, because Malone was talking last week now, the players aren't even watching videos and tapes of the teams. That's not good for Joker not pushing the team to where they need to get to.
Yeah, so like this has been a long time coming though. So they've been having internal disagreements in regards to personnel changes throughout the season, and they weren't seeing eye to eye. The GM Booth and Calvin Booth and Coach Malone, right? So there was already some animosity in between them two, and now with the whole thing that they've been having some really. If you look at the videotape on the last couple of weeks of them playing defensively, they've been struggling, man. They're on a 4-game losing streak, I believe, right now, and I believe for what is it right now? I think they're 47-32 for the year, right? They're at over 500. They're at 595 winning, and they're in the last 10 games. They're 3-7 with a 4-game losing streak, right? So now they're going into the playoffs, right? They feel that they got a better chance going with the interim coach that decided to go with than Coach Malone. And I feel that the players are probably a big part of that. I think Coach Malone lost a lot of key players, the respect from them. So now, the GM had to make some moves, man. He had to decide, they got to win, man. So I think this is the best option for them to win going forward into the playoffs.
But then after they fired Malone, they fired Booth.
Yeah.
They fired the GM.
So,
so it's like, what's going on
what do you
over
do?
there right in the beginning of the playoffs? It just, that's not a good way to start going into the playoffs. It's not a good way to start.
Now, what would be crazy is if they go deep into the playoffs with all these firings and stuff, and with the interim coach, that would be crazy, right?
Well, I think that would be crazy. And I think all the eyes right now are on Joker. The eyes are on him, and you really don't need. Do you need a good coach when you have someone like Joker? Maybe.
Joker, man. You saw I think, what was it, a couple of days ago? He dropped but he dropped 60 or something like that, right? The other day or something like that. I was like, yo.
He had 60 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. He had a 60-20-20.
It's crazy, man. Yo, the other day, I don't know, not to take away from what we're talking about right now, but something about funny about Joker. So I'm not sure if it was the same building that Joker lives in, Floyd Mayweather lives in, and
Yeah.
I think Joker was rolling out. He had his daughter holding his daughter, and Mayweather was with his entourage.
Yep.
And Joker just walked by like he was like he didn't
Whatever.
care.
Yep.
Usually, anybody that sees Money Mayweather, they're like, "Oh, Money Mayweather," right?
Yep.
Joker
Not
was
him.
like he could have give two shits.
Yep. I was
I
like,
was
whoa.
dying when I saw that.
It just shows you, it's like he's from the other country. Does he even really know who Mayweather is? I don't know.
He
He's
just cares
into his
about
horses.
yeah. He just cares about playing basketball and his horses. He has like championship winning horses that like
Yeah.
win titles and stuff,
Uh
man.
huh. Yeah. That's what they do over there in Siberia or wherever he's from. Where is it, Czech or something?
And you know what I like about him, man? He's a real family man. Wherever he rolls with his brothers.
Oh,
He's
they're
his
deep.
brothers are always
They're
right next
jacked.
to him. And if you dare try to like say something negative or like they roll up.
They were about to run on the court last year when all that stuff was
Yo, I
going
like
on.
that, man. I like that, man. He's a family guy, man. He's down for the crown. Him and his family, his brothers, are down for the crown.
And a little thing about him, Joker. You know how his wedding ring.
Yeah.
You know what he does before every game? He ties his wedding ring around his shoelaces, and that's just like
Wow.
something that he does. And now his shoes that he has like a little ring on it. It's pretty cool. It's just a little cool thing, but that's what he does every game.
Wow.
He lost it one time when it was on his finger, and he said he will never do it again. So, but did you happen to watch the NCAA last night?
Yeah, man. That sequence at the end was crazy, man. But you know what's crazy? Like Florida, so they were up like for a minute, and then like the score became tight with like 45 seconds left, right? It was like 63,
Yeah.
63 or something, or like, and then like I think they drew the foul, right?
Now I would say this: there were some questionable calls there. There were some questionable calls. In
They were, right? But there was like the goaltending, right? That was a
Yep,
goaltending,
it
right?
was.
It
It was.
was,
I thought it was.
um, yeah, but I think that would have been huge for Houston, man. Houston hasn't seen a natty.
And it was in
They
San
have,
Antonio.
yeah, dude. But you know what? Give it to Florida, man. Florida Gators did their thing, man.
Yeah, I was
You know?
kind of going back to the Final Four that happened over the weekend. I was that Duke game.
Oh my God, dude, Duke. That was a major upset, man. But right there, you thought Houston was going to take it if they took Duke out, right? You were like,
Yeah.
Houston's going to win it all.
Yep.
Oh,
But it was a close
sweet.
game. It was 65-63 Florida. But with Duke, going back to Saturday, there was a lot of questionable calls. The one on Cooper Flag over the back, that wasn't at that time. You can't call that play. He did have a chance to lay up a rebound and lay it up and score, but he didn't. I truly think Cooper Flag's going to come back next year and try to get that title. But
He's not going. He's not going into the draft next year.
they don't know. He hasn't made a decision yet. But I don't know. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets are like fourth pick, so I don't want him to come out this year. I want Brooklyn to lose next year, and then they go ahead and get Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
But what other stuff? So baseball, Los, your Mets are 7-3.
7-3, and right now they're putting on a beating to the Marlins. I don't know if the game's over yet. I was watching. It was like 10. They were losing, and then now they're up. They were up like 10-5, I think. It might be over by now. It was like the bottom of the seventh or something like that. But Francisco Lindor
Over the weekend, he had a
he's
game
lighting
for
it up,
football.
yo. Pete Alonso on fire right now.
But
on
this
fire.
is the thing.
And their pitching.
Soto
Their pitching is crazy.
1 home run in 10 games.
Yeah, but they're walking him. He's getting on base. He's getting runs. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
Yeah, his on
I
base
just need to
percentage is
listen.
up there.
He's not on fire, right? But when he gets on fire, you're gonna feel the wrath. You're gonna feel the wrath. So, like, listen, it's early in the season. Like, right now, you see, all these analysts that are doing the stats. Like, right now, the Mets are they're the number one ER. Like, out of all the pitchers, the starting pitchers,
Yeah,
the ERA combined with the top team, number one, right? Come on, man. We just started the season like 2 weeks ago, right? A week ago.
Mm-hmm.
When we start getting into like maybe a month, 2 months in, and we start seeing saying the real deal team start, putting up numbers, saying the pitching. Like right now, you can't go by what you've seen in the last week, man. You gotta wait
Hey,
a little bit. You gotta wait like maybe like four more weeks.
yeah, they gotta get going. They gotta get going. But your
But
pitching,
Shohei is still Shohei.
oh, he's a
The
beast.
Dodgers,
He's a beast.
man.
I mean, that's going to be a hard team for you guys to beat. That's going to be a hard team. But hey, a lot of things can happen. Injuries can happen. My Yankees are 6-5. You know,
But did you hear anything else about the torpedo bats? Are they like still? It's still
it's
cool.
still good. I mean,
It's still good.
I
All
know
right.
the commissioner of Major League Baseball said it's all good. He
Well, there
likes
you
to
go.
see
So
that.
they don't got to worry about anything. Then they're good.
Nope, you'll see other teams popping off with that. Uh, what about another big thing that happened over the weekend was Julio Jones retiring.
Julio Jones was a force
So
to be
let me ask
reckoned
you:
with back in the day in fantasy.
first ballot Hall of Famer? No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's first ballot Hall of Fame. He'll get into the Hall of Fame, but not first ballot.
I mean, there was years he was
Eli
dominant.
Manning should have been first ballot.
Yeah, I don't
So
want to
if
talk
Eli
about that.
Manning didn't get in, he's not getting in first ballot. But if you talk about Julio Jones in the fantasy world,
Whew.
let me just show you something, man. When he first came into the league, right? He came into the league in 2011, right? 2011, he didn't break 1,000 yards. He went 959 yards and 8 touchdowns, and that was his first year, right? Coming out of
Okay.
Alabama. We thought the world of him. We were like, this is a god amongst men when it came to fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the number one pick for like the foreseeable future, right? So from the next year, 2012 to 2019, he just dominated like 1,100 yards. Then the following year, I think he got injured. He only played like 5 games.
Yeah.
But then after that, he was breaking 1,500 yards, 1,800 yards, 1,400 yards every year.
Jeez.
So like
I, I
he was a fantasy god, and
how many touchdowns
for
a
the
year
majority of his
was he
career,
pulling in?
he
Was he
was pulling
pulling?
in like 8, 10, 6, 8.
Wow.
Like the least number of touchdowns he had were like 2, but that was the season that he got hurt. So if you remember, he got hurt. I think like his third year in the
He
league,
was always
he got
hurt though.
hurt.
He was always injured, but he always
Yeah,
played through it.
yeah. He was, but he was that guy that you would have like maybe late in the season, and you needed to get into the playoffs, and Julio Jones would just give you like a 40 burger to get into the fantasy playoffs. He was that
Yep.
guy, man. I remember I had Julio
Who
Jones in a couple of my fantasy teams, and he lit it up. You know who's the
who's
guy that reminds me of Julio Jones in fantasy? That I think he's gonna tear it up next year, just like Julio did in his early stages of his career. Malik Neighbors. Malik, and you know what? When it comes to fantasy, he is gonna be a beast next year.
now? You always say about him. What is he?
QB proof. For those of
But
you that don't know what that means that you can have
Dizz Los
a
throwing him the ball.
12-year-old throw him a ball and he's going to get his TD, he's going to get his yards. He's QB proof.
Have,
So for those of you that are beginners in fantasy and you need a wide receiver, feel confident when you draft Malik Neighbors
in the first round?
in the first round.
Would you?
As my number one pick, no, but on the snake around, I would do it. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Oof. That's this year. Fantasy is going to be interesting.
Oh, of course. You're gonna have Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has to go. Justin Jefferson, does he drop or does he still go as a top receiver? I think he stays up there. And you got Malik Nabry. So a lot of people are gonna disrespect him and not pick him early because they're gonna be like they're not. A lot of people are not sold on Russell Wilson, man.
No, I know.
But don't sleep.
Yep.
Don't sleep.
Hey,
Russell Wilson
he's been
is
posting
gonna
videos,
post up numbers.
and he's been
But
posting
I'm
videos of him
telling
working
you,
out. He was working out early in the morning at the Giant Stadium. He's putting in the work. He's
I'm
putting in the
telling
work.
you, man. I can't
Going to
wait
the
till I can't wait till we do our fantasy football show next season. A
oh,
lot of secrets, a lot of intel. I don't want to release it right now, but there's a lot of sleepers out there. And if you want to
don't
win a
sleep.
title,
Don't
Loso
sleep.
no so.
um, did you happen to look at who the Eagles are talking about? Did you see that? I saw an article today.
So if we're thinking about the same thing, I'm hearing that Tyreek Hill
Come on.
is rumored because they're thinking about trading him, and the
Hmm.
Eagles might have some interest there. Now,
Where's
if
he gonna
they pick
go?
him up, so what's going on with AJ Brown? I thought they were going to move AJ Brown. They're going to have to move AJ Brown, right? Or they're going to have both AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill and
That,
Devonta Smith.
that's too much. That's too much of. That's just too many. I don't know what to call it, but
Too many mouths to feed.
yeah, yeah. Especially with
But you know
Tyreek.
what? With AJ Brown, there was games that he wouldn't eat, right? But he'll get like his first downs. He'll get like 30 yards, 40 yards. But then Devonta Smith was fucking eating over 100 yards, two TDs.
Yep.
You know, so like it was like the games that Devonta didn't eat, AJ Brown ate, right? But Tyreek Hill, he doesn't get the ball. He's gonna complain.
And you have Barkley in the back.
You gotta pay the cheetah. If you get the cheetah, you gotta let the cheetah out.
So we'll put it like this: would you rather have the cheetah or AJ Brown?
The cheetah.
Would you?
The cheetah smoke anybody off the line. And the only thing is, does Jalen Hurts? He has the line to protect him to stay in that pocket and get him the ball, right? So with that offensive line, and wait, hold on, did they lose any key offensive linemen? I'm not sure, but if they still have the same offensive line intact,
No, they
you
lost
know,
defensive line.
and they get the cheetah, and you
I,
got
I
Saquon Barkley coming off a Super Bowl championship year. You know what they say, right? After they win the Super Bowl, usually the team takes a hit, and like
not. I don't think the Eagles
I
will.
don't think the Eagles will,
No.
but you never know.
Talking about Barkley and Penn State. Um, what's it looking like? The Giants going after? What does it look like? Are we going
Ooh.
after Carter or what?
So it's interesting, right? So right now, we were set on saying, oh, Travis Hunter comes to the Giants. But if you take a look at it, right, if we're able to draft Travis Hunter onto the Giants, right, I think, I don't see him being an immediate impact player. Is he going to be a starting cornerback? No. Why would the Giants pay Holland and the guy from the Saints,
Yep.
to start a rookie, right? Now, how about receiver? Are you going to start Travis Hunter? Maybe, but then what do you do with Wandell Robinson? And what I'm saying? He's going to be the number 3, and then you got Hyatt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you're going to do? So if they do it, I can see Travis Hunter being the number 3 with Malik Nabers and Wandell Robinson, right? And then you got Theo Johnson at the tight end. But if you get Abdul Carter, right?
I just don't think. I think
You got
Hunter being a third receiver, being a backup cornerback, is a waste of third pick. It's a
But
waste.
but you're stacking your defense with Carter, right? Because then you got Tibbs, you got Burns, and you got Abdul Carter, right? And then you got Sexy Dexy in the middle,
They're going to be putting pressure.
bro. And then you got the defensive corners that they just got the safety.
Yep.
So their defense is going to be a top tier defense.
And,
So if they get Abdul Carter, top tier.
yep.
Now, if they get Abdul Carter, look what this does now for the rest of the draft, right? So now they're saying if they go Abdul Carter at 2, they don't think Jackson Dart's going to be there. They're thinking Milroe, the quarterback from Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that I don't like about that quarterback out of Alabama, I'm hearing that his touchdown to interception ratio is pretty high, right? But the only thing is he does throw the ball in tight windows. He gets it to his man. He has some zip to the ball, and he has legs. So the last time a New York Giant quarterback had legs and could run was Geno Smith. And Geno Smith is like, that's when he was young, right? That was, I think,
Mm-hmm.
his second year. Oh no, that was his rookie year. Right? Is it
So
rookie year? I think
with
it was
it,
rookie year.
no, he was with
So
the Jets. He was with the
he
Jets.
was so it was his second year, I think, right? Something like that.
Third, I think.
Third year. But either way.
Yeah.
So the Giants never really haven't had a QB with legs that can run the ball. Now, do you spend your second round pick on a QB like that? That's like, and you develop him. You develop him as
So
the
let me
years go by.
so let me ask you this. So you said his interception ratio and touch. His interception ratio is high. It's higher than his touchdowns or similar to it.
Yeah.
He's big, right?
No, he actually is not big.
Oh, he's not.
No. So what happened? So check this out. So over the span of 2 years in Alabama, he had 39 touchdowns with 17 interceptions.
That's not good.
Yeah. So he's 6'2", 217 pounds, right?
Okay. Can you look up someone's? You have it. You have a computer right there.
Yeah. So he's like Cam Ward. Cam Ward is 6'2", also 219. Now you know how they beef those numbers up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably like 6'1", 200.
Because Dable had another quarterback in Buffalo that was a runner, had his interceptions up high, and he fixed him a little bit. And we all know who Josh Allen is. So could this be a good scenario where Dable can get a quarterback from college with some legs and arm strength and try to build him like he did Josh Allen?
Yeah, I do. If you take a look at it like that, yeah, I do like that. But the thing is, you have to also think of it like this, right? So if you're thinking about the future, the Giants need to have a winning season for Dable to keep his job. So, like, the Giants can right now knock it out the park with the draft, right? Get an A+ at the draft. But if what they did doesn't transcend onto the field and they don't go at least wild card, the coach and the GM are out the door next season.
So if they don't make the playoffs,
They have to make the. I think so, man. I think like
yeah,
they're on the hot seat, man. They're on the hot. If they go like 1-10, they're getting fired. They're getting fired middle of the season.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's right now on the table. Middle of the season firing is on the table.
If they, what would you say? Under 5 wins,
dude. If they need to, in the month of September, they need to win at least 3 games. They got to go 3-1. They got to go 3-1. They have to, because they cannot start off 0-4. God forbid because if once they go 0-4, they're trailing the whole season. Expectations are going to be high still. The fan base is going to call for their heads after Game 6. It's going to be a complete shit show.
So if you're Dable and the GM, you need to start off right off the bat.
Right off the bat, you got to start making wins. You got to start making games exciting. You can't be doing questionable calls. Like, remember like last year they were going for like field goals and like stuff. Like, bro, go for the sure points. Go for the win, man.
So with that being said, with the draft, who's going to be the impact player right away?
I think Abdul Carter would be the impact player.
So I think that's what they're going to
right off the gate. He's going to be starting.
Yeah, boom. So they need to get him right. That's. I mean, I guess he's going to dinner. He was with them.
Yeah, they scheduled that. Yeah, I think like there was talks about them still thinking about going Shedeur Sanders. I was like, what?
I haven't. Yeah, it's like, come on,
man. Like, dude, like, are you serious?
He is dropping.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to be negative about Shedeur. Like, he's a great, phenomenal player, but like, you gotta like with all these pro. They had a Colorado Pro Day, right? And he was showing off his arm and stuff. They were like dissecting that video. They were showing him how he like double taps the ball when he throws it and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're
like, dude, like apart. The NFL is gonna eat him apart with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to also take. Do you remember the Jets quarterback that got drafted out of Yale? What was his name? That got traded to the Broncos, and then
what's his name?
The one that the mom was like going out with like the teammates. Jeez. Bro, she loved it. She really loved it for doing that. Bro, imagine that. Your fucking son's a NFL player.
Zach Wilson.
Oh, Zach Wilson, right? Bro, he shut it down at his pro day, bro. They were saying like he was like the next Brett Favre. They were like going huge. Bro, he went early, right?
Yeah.
And look what happened. Did that transcend into the NFL? No. Nothing, right? So
not.
You got to take what they do there. Like, you got to take it lightly, man. It's not,
Yeah, but that little hitch of tapping, that's like a pitcher, tipping off the pitch. They'll eat that apart, like you said. The defense would eat that apart. So you think they're going to go after Carter? That's who I would go after.
I think so. I think that's a shoo-in. They're going Abdul Carter, and then on the way back, I don't want him to go Jalen Milroe. I would love if Jackson Dart is there, man. But they're saying, Mel Kiper, he's saying that it seems like they should go Jalen Milroe.
Everybody's saying that. Everybody is
Yeah,
saying that.
or do they address offensive line? Like who knows? We got to see who's there, man. There's gonna be a lot of value there. Like that first pick. Put it like this: I'm happy with Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. I either or, I'm happy. Like I'll be okay and I'll sleep good at night. But if they get Abdul Carter, I'll sleep much better.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
So,
our defense is gonna be on
it's
point
gonna
next
it's
year.
gonna be top four, top five. You think?
Oh, for sure, man. Don't
So,
sleep. Fantasy football next year. Defensives to look out for. Denver
oh, we already
Broncos.
know that. We already know that Broncos is gonna be. Ooh.
Eating. They're gonna be eating.
I mean, it's basically the 49ers. The
49ers, the
Broncos. The
old
Broncos
49,
G
the
is
40.
basically.
Yeah.
um. So one, you think Cam Ward?
Cam Ward goes one. Number two,
Two is
Travis
the oh.
Hunter.
You think
Travis
Travis?
Hunter or Abdul Carter. They might go Abdul Carter, man.
I know. I know. I
But
think
whatever.
that.
We'll take Travis Hunter.
I
Now,
think.
would the Giants be dumb and pass on Travis Hunter and then go Shador? I would fucking flip.
Would you give up your tickets?
I would flip. I wouldn't give up my tickets, but I would flip, man. I would fucking flip.
Yeah, I would be kind of.
That would be a
I've heard
typical Giants move. That would be a Giants move right
that would
there.
be
That
a
would be
Giants or Jets move.
yeah.
That's what it would be. Have you heard anything on Aaron Rodgers? I haven't heard anything.
No, but I read on social media that his ex fiance or ex girlfriend, that's like a movie star. She was like a big actress. She said that like she made her miserable like throughout the relationship, and I was like, wait a second. They were
He
just,
made
and then
teammates miserable.
yeah, and then I'm hearing that I don't know if it was April Fools, but they were like saying that he was like retiring or something like that, or I don't know if
I
that's
heard
real
he
or
might
not.
be retiring. That's what I actually heard too. I
So
heard he might be retiring. I think it'll be a bad move for the Steelers to get him. I just think it'll be a bad move. The Steelers are looking for a quarterback in the draft too. Maybe they can trade up and get Shador. Get
the
him out.
Steelers need, because right now it's Mason Rudolph. He's running the show right now. But you know what? Their coach, right? What's
Colin,
their coach? What is it?
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Like I trust I trust Mike Tomlin more than any other coach because he makes sound decisions, and like he's very smart, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like he said it, man. He was very candid when he said like he has total faith in Mason Rudolph, right? Like we might be laughing at it because we look at it as a fantasy perspective, right? Because we're
Yep.
looking at a fantasy and like how what he did, and you know what I'm saying. But if he's looking at it as a coach and how he, as a quarterback and as a leader in their locker room, how he leads the team, right? And if he can lead these guys on the field to produce wins, like man, that speaks volumes for him as a player and for a coach to believe in his player, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna. I have faith in Coach Tomlin, and I think he knows he has faith in his quarterback. Mason Rudolph hasn't gotten a good rap because all that shit that happened between him and Miles Garrett and all that
Mm-hmm.
shit. And they said it was like, they said that he said some racial slurs. So he has like, there's a painted picture on him, right? They
Yep.
think he's a certain way, right? So like he has something to prove too, man. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for Mason Rudolph to prove that he's earned himself as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
And it's all the Steelers need is a quarterback that's going to manage the game because their
Yeah,
defense is so good.
yeah. So
So if he can,
they
who's their running back?
um they traded
Warren?
Najee Harris. Najee Harris, where did he go, to the Chargers?
Yes.
Um,
Are they going to go after Jetney
they
or
have a
whatever?
running back. No, they have a running back, but is he going to be
Warren.
a
Is
full?
it
Is he going?
Warren?
Yeah, Jalen Warren. Is he going to be a full workhorse? He
You
might
were
have to
always
be.
big on him in fantasy. That was always your
Jalen
one.
Warren, yeah,
You kept him
you
in the
know,
back. You
kept
were
him in
big
my
with him.
back pocket.
Yep.
You
Always.
know, you
Always.
always got to hoard running backs in fantasy.
Hmm.
You always have to have young bucks.
That's
You
right.
know,
Just like the White from Buccaneers, you were big on him, and Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving, don't sleep. Next year, Bucky Irving is gonna put numbers.
RB1?
Get you should be able to get him late in the second round.
Is he going to be the main starter, you think?
Bucky Irving? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You listen. They had Bucky Irving and Rashad White last year, and remember Bucky Irving at the end, like in the beginning, they really used him a lot.
Yeah.
But Rashad White, like he's like a pounder. He bruises. You like get him in there.
Yep.
He starts churning those hard yards. He'll get it done. But I think they're gonna start using Bucky Irving more next year, more as like a
He's
full
more versatile.
workhorse. Yeah, he's fast, man.
Yeah, he I
I
like him
like
as a
Bucky
player.
Irving, man. You know who? And he got hurt last year, but Kenneth Walker, that's my guy, man. K9.
He's
Kenneth Walker's. You don't sleep. He's coming up with a contract year. Don't
huge.
sleep. Imagine he opens up and he goes to. I want him to go to the Giants.
Do you?
I want Kenneth Walker on the Giants. Listen, listen who said it first. Kenneth Walker. If he goes to the Giants next year, remember who said it first.
I will, because I think he's going to go to Las Vegas.
You think so? No, man. I can see him with the
Pete
Giants,
Carroll?
man. Listen to this. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, Kenneth Walker next year is going to either get re-signed or get traded, right? Russell Wilson takes the Giants to the wild card. They get booted out of the wild card, but he goes to the playoffs. Russell says, "You know what? I want to give it one more shot, one more year, right?"
Do the Giants sign him, you think?
I think the Giants sign him.
Okay.
And then they bring in Kenneth Walker. Tracy's going to do his thing, but Kenneth Walker and Tracy would be huge, dude. Huge.
Because Kenneth Walker's always hurt. He is a neck injury away from being done. He always has neck injuries, just like Daniel Jones, and he's an injury. I would want James Cook.
Ooh, disgruntled. He's disgruntled right now. But he's also asking for like $16 million a year.
Well, we got to bring that back. We got to bring that to reality.
Yeah, but you know what? He produced numbers. He put up numbers last year. And if he's gonna play, he said he's gonna play this year because it's part of his contract. But you're gonna have a running back that's not happy. That's not good. That's not a good recipe for success.
And a young running back. He's young.
So you got to make him happy. You got to pay the man his money. But are you gonna fork over what he wants?
Oof, that's a lot of money. If you weren't going to give Barkley anything close to that, you're not going to give it to Cook.
No.
I mean, that probably set the Giants back. That Barkley move was, oh my gosh. Every time it comes up, I'm just like, jeez. Now, if he got hurt this year, it would have been a different story. It would have been like, see, we knew it. We knew what was going to happen.
I know. Hey, what are you going to do, man? But you know what? I'm excited. Fantasy football. The draft. The draft is in 17 days.
Yeah, so you posted about the draft.
I'll be at the stadium, bro. I'll be seeing round 1 and 2 at Giant Stadium. So season ticket holders,
content.
I'll be out there. I'll be out there with the camera. Taking some interviews, trying to get some players. I'll be out there.
I might ask the right-hander to come in to do a live stream, maybe.
Yeah,
George to come in or Jay-Z.
Maybe I'll have Jay-Z. Jay-Z, he's a good talker.
Anything else popping off this week that happened? I think we covered everything, Los.
Yeah.
Oh no, we did not.
No.
Last night, I think it was last night, a record was broken.
Record? Which record?
A record that was standing for a long time.
Oh, is it the NHL record?
Yes, it is.
Is it the record that Wayne Gretzky was holding?
Yes, it is. It
was from Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin, yes. And you know what?
But was that the one with an open? It was an open net goal, or he scored it?
He scored it.
Oh, okay. The one before that was the open net. He was like, and he was like, oh, I don't know, what doesn't count, But
yeah, but hey. I didn't know that, he played for that long. I didn't know.
Ovechkin.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Ovechkin is like, what is he, in his late 40s?
Yeah, he looked like an old man up in there. I was like, bro, when he was with Gretzky, I don't know which one was older. I was like, holy cow, Gretzky's still in great shape. Still in great shape. But yeah, we got to give the props to him. I'm not a hockey fan, but
hockey's dope. You know why? Because for those of you that do like DraftKings or FanDuel, Yo, when you do like a parlay with like a four-teamer and you get hockey going, bro, hockey's intense, man, because you can have like the best team that's like over 500 and it'll be like the Seattle Kraken come out of nowhere and score like 5 goals in the third to take it and win the game. Like it's crazy, man. So,
It's better to
hockey,
see it
if you watch
if
it, like you
live.
gotta watch it, man. You never sit there and watch hockey. I'm not like I follow it, but I don't follow it like that. But whenever I set up a little parlay here and there, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll watch hockey and like their games are late, especially when you watch the games from the West Coast, the San Jose Sharks or the LA Kings, bro. Like, dude, it gets intense, man.
Look, I like watching it live. I mean, I'll throw a game on here and there, just to see it if it's
Hmm.
like the playoffs or something. But I'm not. I'll watch to see the standings and all, but I won't sit there and turn on a game like I would for a Yankees or a Brooklyn Nets game or a Giants game. Actually, I
No.
was turning a lot of Giants games off this year, but but all right, Los, we're gonna end it there. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Hey, our channel's growing. We're just gonna get as much content out as we can. Like, subscribe to as much as our videos. Our videos are going up. Our shorts are getting like 1,000 views. So please
Yeah,
tell
please like,
everybody.
yup, please like and subscribe. And we'll be throwing out some more content. We'll be going out on locations, same time, same place next week. Be there or be square. Professionals.
They say how this
Peace.
nigga come from dirt to bad hoes and bank rolls.